stop what you are doing right now because General Hospital is about to detonate in a way the audience has not seen in years, and the people who think they already know what is coming are flat wrong. Behind the curtain, multiple insiders are whispering about two possible deaths, one major on-screen break, a power vacuum that could swallow Port Charles whole, and a wave of returns nobody saw coming, including one that could settle a decades-old wound between two characters the audience has been waiting to see back on the same canvas. The contradictions in those leaks are not small. They are not minor. They are the kind of contradictions that turn a rumor roundup into a full-blown investigation, because when two backstage sources are telling you two completely different things about the same character, one of them is wrong and the other one is closer to the truth than this show has let anyone be in a generation. And the answer, when it finally lands, will almost certainly make half the fan base furious and the other half euphoric. Welcome back to Soap Pulse. I am Anderson, and if you live for the kind of tea the promos never quite serve, smash that like button, tap share for the friend who pretends they quit soaps in 2014, and hit subscribe so the bell rings the next time we go deep, because what we are about to walk through has the potential to redefine the next 12 months of General Hospital. Now let us pull the curtain back. To understand why this rumor roundup matters, you first have to understand the strange, almost anomalous moment General Hospital is living through right now. The show has spent the last year detonating two back-to-back cinematic villains in Colum and Sidwell, the kind of high-gloss, internationally flavored antagonists that daytime drama usually does not have the budget or the nerve to attempt, and the audience has responded, the ratings have responded, the discourse has responded, but the cost of that response is starting to show. Behind the scenes, according to multiple leakers who have been right about this show for years, the engine is tired. Several long-running front-burner performers have quietly asked for breaks. At least one major storyline has been compressed because of off-screen interference at the executive producer level, and according to those same leakers, that compression is the reason an entire character is now heading for a psychological facility instead of the courtroom showdown fans had been promised. So even before the leaks start arriving, the production itself is groaning under the weight of its own ambition. That is the atmosphere into which the following rumors detonate. The first rumor is the one that, on its face, sounds the most insane, and that is the suggestion that Ric Lansing might be killed off. Ric is played by actor Rick Hurst, a two-time Daytime Emmy winner who returned to the role in a blaze of publicity and has been threading an unusually long arc ever since. He is not a background character. He is a legacy. He is one of the last active threads connecting the show's 80s and 90s identity to its modern era, and the rumor floating around the offshore fan press right now is that Rick is going to die of a brain injury by the end of the summer. One leaker has been emphatic. Another leaker, who has been just as accurate in the past, has contradicted the first by floating the possibility of a Rick and Alexis reunion, which is, as any GH veteran knows, a storyline that has dragged itself out of the grave more times than Sonny has been presumed dead. So we are sitting on a clean contradiction, and that contradiction is the engine of everything that follows. Either Rick is dying, in which case the entire quarter is going to pivot around Sonny's grief, since one source has framed the death as a major Sonny story turn and reports that Maurice Benard, who plays Sonny, is reportedly excited about the direction, or Rick is being lined up for a romance revival, in which case the audience's sympathy drops by about 40%, and the death rumor was leaked as misdirection. Both outcomes are real possibilities. Neither can be confirmed. That is exactly the kind of duality that makes General Hospital coverage feel like real investigative work instead of recap by recap narration. Now stack on top of that the second death rumor, and this one is even more psychologically loaded. According to backstage chatter, Jacinda Bracken, played by Paige Herschel, may be killed off in the near future, and the killing is reportedly being laid at Willow's feet, which is a phrase that has not aged well for anyone in this universe, because Willow Tait, played by Katelyn MacMullen, has spent the last 18 months behaving like a woman possessed by the ghost of every bad decision the Quartermaines have ever made. The leakers specifically say the murder is framed to look like Willow's doing, that Willow swears she is innocent, and that nobody, including the characters who should know her best, is going to believe her. The leakers add a granular detail that I want you to sit with for a moment. They say the reasoning behind the kill is reportedly connected to a work break that MacMullen requested, and they say break could land Willow inside Ferncliff, the show's signature psychiatric facility, or potentially inside Shadybrook, which would be, in the leakers' framing, a meaningful downgrade. Ferncliff has been the show's institution of consequence since the 20s, and the leakers are drawing a clear distinction in their language, which suggests one of those locations is more likely than the other, and which also suggests that someone in production is currently arguing about it. The torture of this rumor is that it is doing two things at once. It is foreshadowing a death of a young woman fans are only beginning to like, and it is creating the pretext for an even darker Willow story once MacMullen returns from her break. The leakers are explicit that they have been told Willow will come back behaving even worse than she left. They are not predicting a redemption. They are predicting a deepening, which means we need to talk about Katelyn MacMullen's possible break because the language around it is unusually detailed for backstage rumors, and when leakers get this specific, they are usually closer to the truth than the audience likes to admit. According to the same network of sources, MacMullen has been carrying an intense front-burner arc for many months, an arc that, by the way, the leakers believe was supposed to run considerably longer. The original Willow Drew material, such as it was reportedly chopped down by what those leakers describe as alleged interference at the executive producer level. The showrunner in question has been the subject of fan tension for some time now, and the leakers are essentially saying that his editorial decisions during this period either generated or accelerated MacMullen's request for time off. None of that is provable. None of it is confirmable. But the leakers are out with it, and the pattern, when you line up enough of these specific accusations from enough independent sources, tends to walk like a duck. And here is the part of Willow's story that the show has not wanted the audience to notice, but the numbers do not lie. Willow Tait has now run a murder arc, an affair arc, a cult arc, a gaslighting arc, and a revenge arc, all within a window of about 14 months. That is more genre marathon than even an experienced soap fan usually carries. MacMullen has reportedly been the engine through all of it. When she goes on break, the writers have to either kill her story, freeze it, or institutionalize it. They are choosing institutionalization, and that choice is producing a peculiar byproduct. For the first time in years, Willow is going to be physically absent from her antagonists' lives for an extended period, which means Drew cannot use her as a punching bag, Michael cannot use her as a betrayal metaphor, and the audience cannot use her as a weekly vent target. There is going to be a willow-shaped hole in the daytime, and the writers will fill it the way daytime always fills holes. They will fill it with grief. And grief on this show is almost always a precursor to either a murder investigation or a hospital bedside reconciliation scene, and the leakers are saying we are getting the former. That brings us to the third pillar of the leak, which is the exit-adjacent break, and it is not a permanent departure, but it is going to feel like one when it lands. MacMullen has reportedly asked for time off. So has, at various points, Finola Hughes, who plays Anna, and Steve Burton, who plays Jason, and now the leakers are adding MacMullen to a quiet list of performers who have stepped back from the front burner without the show framing it as a goodbye. That detail alone is worth pausing on, because fans sometimes treat a temporary recasting as a permanent exile, and the leakers are very deliberately saying Willow will be back and she will be worse. So even fans who love MacMullen should not be lighting farewell candles. They should be bracing for what comes after the breather. Now we leave the deathbed of the rumor roundup and pivot toward the revenge engine, and that engine has a name, Carly Spencer. Carly has not chilled. The leakers are emphatic on this point. She is not pivoting to romantic comedy. She is not going soft. She is actively hunting Jack Brennan for his role in luring Jocelyn into the WSB, which was, depending on which behind-the-scenes source you trust this week, either life-changing service for that character or a recruitment scandal that should have ended careers. Carly's grievance is real and it is operatic, and she is reportedly looking for partners. Valentin Cassadine, who is one of the few remaining Cassadines with both motive and reach, is reportedly being threaded into that revenge arc, and the leakers are clear that Valentin does not currently possess the full inventory of Brennan's offenses. He is a man who has power, but not the dossier. If that dossier ever migrates his way, Carly is going to have a weapon she has never had before, an ally who knows where the bodies are buried, legally and otherwise. And the leakers are also clear on something else, that Valentin is being repaired with Sonny in the meantime, because of course he is, because no one in Port Charles gets a friend without a Sonny, and the relationship reported here is one of competitive interference, with Valentin apparently trying to position himself in Carly's life in a way that the show has historically used to detonate a Sonny Carly season. Expect that subplot to land within weeks. But here is the deeper cut. The leakers say Brennan needs to watch his back because of Sidwell. They say the Sidwell arc was reportedly pushed forward by 2 months, and that Sidwell's final bow happens in August. Tied to that is the introduction this week of a new character, Hudson, who is played by, depending on how cleanly the auto-transcript deciphered, an actor whose name fans will recognize once they see him on screen. The leakers describe Hudson as the next villain after Sidwell's exit, but they hedge immediately, and the hedge is important. They say Hudson may be a kind of bridge character, a lieutenant to a bigger baddie waiting in the wings, not the baddie himself. This show has a pattern of introducing more recognizable names as primary antagonists, and the leakers are warning that Hudson may not yet be that recognizable. They also mention the possibility of more than one villain operating in parallel, which the leakers frame as a direct response to the Colum Sidwell era, but quietly, almost offhandedly, hand-wave as something they personally think is overkill. That parenthetical is rare for backstage leakers. They almost never editorialize. When they do, they are usually right. And this is where the Brennan subplot connects to a thread that has been hanging in the air for months. According to the leakers, Brennan has aligned himself with Sidwell, almost certainly in pursuit of someone named Nina. The leakers floated the Brennan-Nina angle months ago, long before it was confirmed on screen, and they are now saying the implication is that Brennan offered to break Sidwell out of prison in exchange for Sidwell not naming Willow in any criminal deposition. That piece, if true, is not a villain move. It is a love move. Or rather, it is a Brennan move, which is to say it is a move that looks like cold strategic calculation on the surface and is, in fact, a frantic attempt to clear the path to one specific woman. General Hospital has always been better at this kind of layering than fans give it credit for, and this is exactly the kind of storyline that ages well. Now we move into the Brit Westmoreland speculation, and this is where the leakers' tone shifts from confident prediction to genuine hand-wringing. According to them, Kelly Thibault, who has played Brit on and off for years, may not last at General Hospital unless the writers can find for Brit a workable love interest outside of Jason, with whom she has reportedly been on good terms. Close to the Vaughan speculation sits another item the leakers mention in passing, and you have to read it carefully because it is folded into a paragraph about Ethan Lovett. They say despite the recent recast of Ethan with Christian Howard, the character is still going to be leaving Port Charles. There is no elaboration on the why. There is no drama leak, just the quiet statement that Ethan is going. Fans who have followed the recast will know that recasting followed by exit is a particular kind of corporate signal. It means the new face was almost certainly never meant to be permanent. The new face was a bridge. The character is being parked for later. Treat that as the most likely reading. Then comes the return the audience has been quietly begging for, and that is Jake Weber, the son of Elizabeth and Jason. According to the leakers, the role could be back, hopefully with the same actor, Hudson West, who has played the role for years. But this would be a recurring slot, not a contract slot, and the arc could land this fall as part of a broader Drew and Jason storyline, which is a pairing the leakers are specifically promising will generate fireworks. The leakers also do something unusually honest here, which is that they tell fans of the Liz and Jason pairing not to get their hopes up. The son's return is not a gateway to reconciliation. There is no Liz-Jason reunion hiding inside this arc. The leakers are managing expectations in real time, which is, again, something they almost never do for free. Expect a Liz-Jason versus Drew triangle launched by a teenage boy with all the parent against parent emotional weight that implies. And speaking of returns, there are two more the leakers mention, and they are doing it almost casually, which means they expect them. Cameron Weber is reportedly a candidate to come back, but only if William Lipton, the actor, is interested. The current GH universe has Cameron on a very quiet arc, and the leakers are essentially saying the door is unlocked, but the actor has to walk through it. Cameron back in a major storyline, especially if Jason's psychological trajectory lands where it sounds like it is landing, would be one of the cleaner generational anchors the show could deploy. He would also be a natural counterweight to Drew, who has been operating as a kind of unchecked patriarch figure for too long, and who would, frankly, be more interesting with a son in the room who was not afraid of him. The other return is a name many younger fans will not immediately know: Dylan Quatermain. The leakers mention him, and they mention his link to Serena Baldwin, who is reportedly coming back onto the canvas this week, interestingly the same exact day the new character Hudson is debuting, which the leakers note as suspicious timing, because soap writers do not debut two unrelated characters on the same day by accident. The implication is that Serena, Dylan, and Hudson are mechanically linked, and that Michael may also be involved, which is a configuration that has not existed in Port Charles for a long time. Michael gets pulled towards Serena, who has been gone, who has been missed, and who returns to a city that no longer feels like hers. That is the kind of generational reset arc this franchise used to write reflexively and has not written properly in a decade. And if the writers can pull it off, Serena's return might end up being the emotional centerpiece of the entire fall. Which leaves us finally with the question the leakers have not been able to settle, the contradiction that is, in many ways, the reason any of this roundup exists. Is Ric Lansing actually dying, or is the show planting misdirection to soften the audience for an Alexis reunion? Is Jacinda actually being killed, or is Katelyn MacMullen's break the real headline and the Jacinda story just the pretext? Is Willow going to Ferncliff or Shadybrook, and does that distinction quietly mean something bigger? Is Greg Vaughan returning for himself, or for Sonny, or for Lulu, or for all three? Is Steve Burton's Brian Echo tease about WSB Prison a real solo storyline, or the seed for a Jason-Anna Frank dynamic nobody in the audience is expecting? Is Hudson a standalone villain, or a handoff character to a more famous face waiting in the wings? Every single one of those questions has at least two credible answers inside the rumor network, and the show itself has not resolved any of them, and that is the actual story. General Hospital, for the first time in a long time, is being driven by a public hunger for honesty about its own future. The leakers are the closest thing the audience has to that honesty. They are imperfect. They contradict each other. They hide behind pseudonyms and offshore websites, but they are more open, more precise, and more emotionally literate than the official press releases, and that gap, the gap between what the show says and what the people around the show whisper, is where all of this drama is being generated. And the show, to its quiet credit, has not shut them down. So when the audience asks what is really going on here, the answer is the answer soap fans already understand in their bones. 2 deaths may or may not happen. A major on-screen break will almost certainly happen. A new villain will almost certainly arrive. And a wave of returns, anchored by Greg Vaughan in November and possibly underscored by Dylan Quatermain, by Hudson West as Jake Weber, by William Lipton as Cameron Weber, if and only if he chooses to come back, is going to fundamentally rewire who lives where in Port Charles. And underneath every one of those structural shifts is a darker question the show has not yet asked out loud. What does a soap owe its audience when the audience is the only thing keeping the canvas alive? The answer for General Hospital right now is honesty, and the leakers, for all their contradictions, are giving the audience more honesty than the official channels have in years. And the show, fully aware of that, is finally starting to look like a show that knows it is being watched. That is not a rumor. That is a fact. I am Anderson. This has been Soap Pulse, and if you made it to the end of this deep dive, drop a comment below telling me which of the rumors you think is going to land first, whether Ric is dying or living, whether Willow is going to Ferncliff or Shadybrook, whether Greg Vaughan is the lucky we get, and whether Brennan is going to burn for his Brennan move on Sidwell. Subscribe if you have not, share this with the friend who insists the soaps died in 2010, and ring that bell. I will see you in the next video.